What's going on, family? You're back with your boy PK, and today we're gonna be talking about 10 people who took their tattoos too far. Personally, I love tattoos and I believe you should be able to do whatever you want as long as it's not hurting anyone else. But for the sake of educational and entertainment purposes, I'm gonna be showing you guys 10 people whom the average person might think is way too extreme. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for a lot more videos like this. And that's enough talk, let's get right into the video. Number 10 is Signo, a tattoo artist slash model in San Francisco who quit her job in the corporate world to take her life back into her own hands. The reason for her drastic body transformation is because when she was younger, she used to be unhappy with herself and how she looked, and this change actually made her feel better about herself. So far, she spent over $50,000 to transform her entire body, and 60% of her body is covered in tattoos and eventually wants to be covered from head to toe. Not only does she have a lot of tattoos, but she also has a lot of body modifications. The most recent one being silicone implants in her forehead to appear like horns. Number 9 is Ethan Bramble, a 24-year-old Australian whom at the time was the world's youngest, most modified youth. His obsession with body modifications started only at the age of 11 when he stretched out his ear. As the years went by, he enhanced his appearance more and more. His body is 80% covered in tattoos and has over 40 body modifications, including a split tongue, the removal of his belly button, spiders under his skin, and he also has his eyeballs tattooed black. He said he spent over $15,000 for those procedures, and in case you're wondering why he did it, well, he said he likes the look of being different and standing out. I think he accomplished that. It doesn't stop there, guys. The list gets crazier and crazier as we make our way to number 1. So stay tuned. Number 8 is Richie the Permanent Clown. And yeah, I'm sure you already guessed why they call him a permanent clown. It's because he tattooed his entire face to resemble just that. This all started when his grandfather took him to the circus as a young kid. They went backstage and there he met a clown who started teaching him how to juggle and was fascinated by it. When he saw the happiness that comes from a clown, he wanted to be happy all the time, and from then on he chose to be a clown forever. Not only does Richie have his entire face tattooed, but he also has a split tongue and silicone in his eyebrows to enhance the ridges for a more clown-like look. Number 7, we have Wahlburger Pascal, aka Toxo, a father and a tattoo artist from Switzerland. He uses the tattoos on his body to tell his life history. 80% of his body is covered in tattoos and has many other body modifications, including having his eyeballs tattooed, cut off earlobes, 12 implants in his arms, and a few more. He's invested over 80,000 Swiss francs in his body modifications so far. And in case you're wondering, no, he's not done yet. He plans on getting many more implants alongside completing his bodysuit. He in particular receives a lot of criticism and is banned from certain bars, and even some restaurants won't serve him. Fortunately for him, he says he doesn't care because he did this for himself and not for others. And he also says that a person's appearance should never play a role on what they're like on the inside. He speaks true words. Don't judge a book by its cover. Number 6, we have Marcelo Biboy de Souza Ribeiro, a father of 2 with 95% of his body covered in tattoos, including 9 body modifications. His first tattoo was done at the age of 15, and before he knew it, his tattoo obsession spread all over his body. His body modifications include silicone implants in his arms, ear modifications, eyes, teeth, tongue, and he's most likely gonna start coloring his gums blue. As for how much all of this cost him, you'd be surprised to know that it didn't cost him much, because he did most of his tattoos himself, including doing his own eyeballs. That's just too much for me. I'm done. Number 5, we have Sylvain Henri. Born in Paris, France, he started his tattoo journey at the age of 27, and in 5 short years he covered his entire body from head to toe. The thing that's so unique about him is that he's a primary school teacher, which I'm sure could be pretty shocking for most, and you think that the kids would be scared of him. But after they get to know him for a few minutes, they don't have a fear anymore. He says the best part about teaching is that he can teach kids to grow up to be kinder adults, which in my opinion is exactly what the world needs. He never wants to stop getting tattooed, and therefore he's just gonna add layers upon layers of ink on top of his already existing ones to eventually be covered in all black. Number 4 is Amber Luke, a 25-year-old Australian that has over 600 tattoos and went blind getting her eyeballs tattooed. Her journey started at the age of 16 when she was diagnosed with severe clinical depression, and getting tattoos was kind of like a therapy for her. She gave a reason as to why she looks like this now, and I quote, "I know it sounds very materialistic that I want to change myself, but imagine hating yourself so much that you couldn't even look in a mirror or step outside your house." Basically, she didn't like herself back then, so she decided to do something about it. Hats off to her, because it takes a lot of courage to do something like that. Overall, she spent over $120,000 for her tattoos and modifications, which includes cheek fillers, lip tattooing, tongue split, pointed ears like pixies, and as we talked about earlier, her blue eyes tattoo, which blinded her for 3 weeks. The reason why she went blind was because the artist went too deep in her eye with the needle. You'll be happy to know that thankfully she has her eyesight back now. Moving on. Number 3 is Alexandra, a tattoo artist and a mother of 3 from Finland who has 99% of her body tattooed. Her fascination for tattoos began when she was inspired by her mom and dad's tattoos at only the age of 9. Growing up, she was addicted to getting tattoos, and meeting her heavily tatted husband gave her the courage to get her face covered in ink. She spent $35,000 on her tattoos, and according to her, she's been the victim of verbal attacks in person. But nonetheless, she does have a lot of other people supporting her, including her parents, husband, and kids. Number 2, we have Maria Jose Cristerna, Mexico's vampire woman. Maria is a 45-year-old mother of 4 who's a tattoo artist, business owner, and a lawyer. Yeah, you heard right, she's a lawyer. She got the nickname Vampire Woman because of her appearance, liking vampires at a young age and wanting to look like one. She's also been recognized in the World's Guinness Book of Records as the most tattooed woman on the planet, and not only that, but she has 49 body modifications, including a split tongue, ear expansion, eye tattoos, titanium horns, and dentally implanted fangs. The reason why Maria decided to modify her body like that was because she was a victim of domestic violence in her first marriage, and all of these modifications to her body is a sign of courage, strength, and liberation. Overall, she spent over $35,000 on enhancing her body, and she's also raising awareness worldwide about domestic violence. Number 1 is Lily Lou, a non-binary former tattoo artist who covered their entire body in tattoos. I mean, this is literally the most ink I've ever seen on anybody. Lily has 2.5 bodysuits. That means they got their entire body covered once, then they got fully covered a second time, then did another half on top of that. That is dedication to its finest. Lily's first tattoo was at the age of 14 and continued doing more and more in their adulthood, adding lots of body modifications on top of that. So I know you probably want me to talk about their body modifications, but the kind of things they did really isn't YouTube friendly, so I can't really discuss that on this channel. And in case you're wondering, Lily is married and has a daughter as well, who happens to be the world's youngest tattoo artist. Now, my thoughts for this entire situation is that for me and my body, this is just way too extreme and I wouldn't do a lot of this stuff myself. But at the same time, it's not my body, it's their body, and I'm just happy that people are doing whatever they want to make themselves feel better, stand out, or whatever their situation is. Because let's be real, we can't all be the same because that's just gonna be way too boring. Being unique is what makes life fun and more enjoyable to live, so good for them. Also, it's completely fine if you don't agree with what they're doing as well, but keep an open mind, it's their life and their choice. You're entitled to your opinion, but let's keep the comment sections polite and respectful. And with that being said, make sure to subscribe for a lot more videos similar to this, and like this video if you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.